Today we'll continue again that exception handling strategy. Exception strategy. Tulsi, do you have any questions? Okay, good. So you gone through that recording session, right? Yesterday, whatever I shared you.
Yes.
Okay, so functionally you clear, right? So what is meant by exception? What is meant by error? So what type of exception strategies in MuleSoft? So when you will use. So then now we'll apply on that exception strategy. We'll see. Okay. So see here, this is my flow. So in this flow, so I'm trying to connect the database. So here I kept some set payload. So in this payload, what I'm trying to do, so http dot query params dot destination. So I'm trying to get the destination parameter actually. So from the URL, so means there is a query parameter, right? So we have seen earlier this type of requirement. I'm trying to get the destination parameter. I just trim it. You know the trim, right? So if there is any spaces, we are trying to trim that spaces actually. So that's why there is a built-in method is there here. So that's why I was using that. So next one is here. I'm trying to connect a database here. In the database, select star from persons. It is a parameterized query. So here is the configuration. So here see this last time we choose this one, right? Database URL. Now I choose this one, database configuration parameters. You can directly enter database configuration here. So whatever the backend configuration, you can directly enter here. So if it is a remote host, we have to enter the remote host. As of now, I'm trying to connect local host. So that's why I enter local host. This is a port number of MySQL by default. So next one is username of your schema, your database, and then password of your database. Okay, so then your database name means schema name. Okay, so that is the configuration. So generally we won't hard coded like this. Generally what we'll do, so we have to create one external properties file under the resource. Okay, so then we have to get as a dynamic. So we'll see that session soon, so that how we'll get the external from the external properties file. So how to get the dynamically using mule expression language. So what will happen if you write like this hard coded? So now we are in a local host, right? So tomorrow if you go production or else test environment, so they will share the address of that database address, right? So they will share the address. I mean they will change the address, database address. So that time what happen if you hard coded it? If always you are trying to correct local host. So that's why. So we have to follow that environment specific properties file. We have to keep it each and every environment. We have to give separate external properties file like dev.properties, local.properties, then test.properties, then production.properties. Like that we have to create each and every separate file. So then we have to keep it key value pair of thing. So based on the key we have to get the value. So that way we have to provide under resources. We have to keep all the external properties file. Then we have to get dynamically. So we'll see that session soon. So as of now I just hard coded. So here is the driver. You have to load it actually. So MySQL driver, you have to, before that you have to download in your machine from the Google. Just search for MySQL connector 5.5 something, so we'll get it download. So then we have to load that jar file. You have to keep it in your project, or else from your any mission path, from your local path, you have to load that jar file. So that time only you can able to connect the database. You can test the connection. Any issues will happen. We can see here actually, or else we can say the success message, test connection successfully. Okay, test connection successfully. So this is the beauty of thing actually. Generally the connection is established or not, so we have to deploy it and we have to check it, right? So what here they mentioned, they gave the connection button also. If you click it, any issues happen, suppose this database is not there or else credentials get wrong, you can check all these things here itself. If anything is wrong, suppose I'm just change the something, so I'm trying to do the test connection. It's clearly saying actually, so some connection got failed. Okay, so that type of things, so we can save the time, not required to deploy and all, just we can test from here itself. Okay, so that is the test connection. So next one is here I'm trying to do some select operation. So let's see. So after that, after getting some records, right, so here I'm writing the query like select star from person, right, so we get all the records from the persons, right? So whatever the records available in the backend, so that is MySQL, we get all the persons records. Password is root, databases. Okay, this is the table, select person table. We'll get 3 records, right? So how we'll get the 3 records? In the form of object. So the database will return in the form of object. So, but we can't able to see the record, right, if you get that type of format. So that's why we have a transformers. We have a transformers, already built-in transformer. So that is object to string. So whatever the object it is, right? So we're getting suppose buffer input stream from the database. Then object is the super class for all the classes, right? So you aware of that one, right? So using that object, we are trying to convert into string, object to string if we keep it. So that will convert to string format. If we take the object, then it will convert. This is the transformer. We have so many transformers out there. If you observe, so the type conversion, so type conversion transformers. Suppose if you get the buffer input stream, so from input stream to some other format, we have a transformers. So byte array input stream, see this, we have so many transformers actually. File to byte array to string, string to byte array, serializable to byte array. So like this, we have so many transformers. So now in this case, if your transformer is not support, right, if you want client want more customization, that time you have to use some transformers like so Java transformers. Okay, so you use custom transformer, mean Java transformer. You have to write the code actually. So that time only I will go for writing a code, or it's almost supporting transformers are there. So we have to use that type of transforms. So these are all transformers only. Append string, sorry, byte array to string, then string to byte array, string to email, file to string. Suppose you are getting a file, so we'll see the file connector also soon. So we are getting a file, right? So we need to convert into string, then we have to use simply this one. No need to do anything, just if you mention that object to string transformer or file to string transformer, automatically that will convert into string format. Okay, so that is the use of object to string. So next one is I kept some expression here. Okay, after that in that expression what I mentioned here, I'm trying to convert it to destination java.lang.integer.parseIntOf. So I'm getting a string actually, I'm trying to convert it to integer. So you know that, right, how to convert in Java also. So same way we can apply in the expression actually. So there is expression component here. In the expression directly you can write the how Java will behave. Same thing you can write here. So generally if you are getting a string using scanner or else buffer input stream reader in the Java, right? So we have to convert into integer. So similarly here also we are getting a string, right? So there is a destination. So I'm trying to convert into java.lang.integer.parseInt. I'm trying to convert into the integer. So we are getting as a string whole these things, right? So message.inbound.properties.http.query parameters. So from the query parameter we are getting a destination. So I'm trying to convert that string into integer. So that thing happened here in this expression. So next one is finally trying to display the payload in the logger. Okay, so that's what the thing. So if it is anything is fine, everything is fine, so your flow will execute well and good. Anything goes wrong like here like database connection. So if you are giving any wrong credentials, right, we are unable to connect to the database. So that time what happened, sorry, we need to tell the user boss you are enter some wrong credentials, so because of that we are unable to connect the database. So that type of error message we have to give to the user, right? User means whoever trying to consume our service. We are going to expose our REST API, so somebody will consume, so that GUI developer, hey, you're unable to hear you. Who's this, Rahul? Oh, Tulsi, can you hear me? Rahul, Tulsi was saying he can able to hear me. What happened? He went offline. Hello, Rahul, can you hear me? Okay, Rahul, can you hear me now? Okay, good. Go ahead. We'll go ahead. Um, okay, thank you. So here everything is well and good. So the credentials and all good. So then you can able to happily finish this flow. Then we can see the records in the logger itself. I just logged the records, whatever the response getting from the database. I just logged it. Okay, something wrong in the database, right? It will jump to the error handling part. Anything is goes wrong in the flow, so it will jump to the error handling because we just handle that exception strategies here. So according to yesterday's discussion, so it is now it's look like this, right? So we have to drag and drop first choice exception strategy. So because under choice exception strategy, we have to keep it multiple catch blocks, right? So these are choice exception strategy. So in our whole flow, So we have only one choice exception strategy. So there is no other choice exception strategy. It's only one exception strategy. Under the choice exception strategy, we just keep it all the catch flags, multiple catch flags. So yesterday, according to yesterday's discussion, one try block followed by multiple catch blocks. So here also same thing, one choice exception strategy followed by multiple catch blocks. So here under error handling, if it is like that, so just expand it and drag it. Actually that time it will come and sit here. So choice exception strategy, so just we have to drag and drop it, then we have to give some proper name of the choice exception strategy, because I mean sometimes we have to use somewhere else also. I mean we can able to map it, so that's why you have to give proper exception strategy name. After that we have to drag and drop catch flags. So here we have a catch exception strategy. After dragging that choice exception strategy, we have to drag catch exception strategy, because in the catch exception strategy we have to give proper expression, proper checking condition. So based on that it will jump to that particular catch flag. So here is the thing. So how we are giving, observe here, exception dot caused by, exception dot caused by. So that is the thing we have to give it here. So this is a dynamic thing. So this the whole part is mule expression language. So how we are giving exception dot caused by. Okay, see this exception dot caused by java dot sql exception. So how we'll know? So that one. So how I can know? So which class I have to pass? This is nothing but a class, right? Java.sql is a package, Java package. So here in the MuleSoft, almost all is related to Java only. Whatever the component we are using here, it's everything is built in based on the Java itself only. So it's if you are familiar with the Java, it's bit easy. So exception dot caused by java.sql.sql exception. So that is a built-in class under SQL package, right? So that we have to capture that information from the print stack trace actually. So or else in the debug mode we have to catch it, we have to keep it here actually. So how we'll know? I will execute and I will show from where we'll get that one. Will run in a debug mode. We'll get to know from where we'll get that exception name. So based on that we have to keep it into the cache flag. So I'm trying to run in the debug mode. So as a developer, always you have to run application in the debug mode. So based on that we will get to know. So what data you are getting. So what data you are sending. So you can see the debugger clearly. So run as in a debug mode. Design, so we can see any issues in the deployment time. Somebody left. Okay, so deployed successfully, so no issues in the deployment. Let's see what is the context part of this choice exception. Memory is 93 HTTP localhost 093 choice exception strategy. We have to send some destination, right? I'm sending some destination is some double I gave. So I got the request to the flow. Now see what was the payload here. See this double I, whatever you are sending through the query parameter, right? So you people already aware of about this. So earlier we saw that. So next one is this payload contains double I. So here we didn't give any wrong thing. So mostly it should be correct. Let's see. See this. You should get some records in the form of object, right? So we are getting java dot util dot linked list object you are getting. See this, these are all, we are getting 3 records. So from the database we are getting 3 records in the form of linked list, right? So but we have to convert into object to string for meaningful message we'll get. So that's why it will convert into object to string. Now see, this records looks readable format. Now records readable format after converting into object to string. Previously we are getting object to some linked list object. So we are converting into record. We are converting it to string. So then I can able to read it, right? So after that I just logged it. Okay, something goes wrong here. It might be unable to convert that string into integer, I guess. So see the exception, what type of exception you are getting in the expression, what it was saying. Here we can see the exception name, actually what type of exception you are getting. You can see here we can take this exception name, we can keep it into there itself. So this is the thing we have to do. So see here, so here we can expand it. Exception name will get it, actually exception thrown will get it. So generally it will come here every time null, null actually. Now it was saying exception thrown. So caused by this. What was the cause? It is org.mule.api transformer exception. Execution of the exception java.lang.integer.parser. So in the expression we are trying to convert, so that parameter, the destination, into integer. So there we are getting, actually what type of exception you are getting? Expression runtime exception we are getting. See this clearly, org.mule.api.expression runtime exception. Let's see anywhere else we handled or not this exception. First one is it's related to, first catch block is it's related to SQL exception. Where it is, how to open an email. See, first one is caused by SQL exception. What else? Second one, second catch block is null pointer exception. Third is number format exception. We didn't get its number format exception. Let's see where it will come. We are sure it won't come there. So this is also mostly to not come, so it's null pointer exception dot cause message. Okay. So this is a step by step. If you want to see, you can click this. Let's see where it will come. So it come back to the database. Then click here. Yeah, see this. It's coming to under where it was coming. So number format exception, because it's unable to convert into that format. So we are getting a string, actually, so it's unable to convert into number format. That's why it was coming to this catch block. This catch block is satisfied that condition. So that's why this is coming under this catch block. I'll show you the exactly exception name. Exception dot caused by java.long.number format exception. So that's why it was coming here. You can see same thing in stack trace also in the console. See this, it was saying clearly, this is we have to copy paste, or else from the debug mode also it should display like this. So java.lang.number format exception, this we have to copy it, we have to keep it in the cache block, so that way it will come to that particular cache block. Same thing I mentioned here, exception dot caused by java.lang.number format exception. Whatever we are getting in the console, so that you have to copy paste, so then you have to keep it there. So then it will come here, so then we have to give it meaningful message to the user, right? Number format exception. So whatever you are getting a dynamic message, right? Exception dot cause dot message. We're not writing any hard coded here. So whatever you are getting an exception that in the print stack trace, right? So that we are getting and we are showing here. So let's see what we'll get it. Debug mode. Click next. F6 or else next. F6 or else this button, if you click it will come next level. Okay, so let's see what we are getting. See this number format exception, execution of the expression java.lang.integer passing whatever the message we are getting in the dynamic, right? So same message we are displaying to the, we are sending back to the user because we are unable to convert it, we are sending it. So clear how we'll do it. This is the same thing for every exception actually. Wherever you suspect you will get this exception, that exception you have to take from the print stack trace or else debug mode. So then you have to keep it in like cache flag. In the expression you have to pass it. Okay. So in the expression, once it will come, how to handle. So you have to give proper error message back to the user or else dynamic message you have to send back. So then you have to execute a flow. So this is nothing but again flow, right? I kept a set payload in the time trying to handle it. Like the suppose sometimes requirement will come like this. Anything goes wrong in our flow, we have to store that message into the ActiveMQ or stack at MQ queuing mechanism, right? So they want to track everything. So either success message or else failure message, everything they want to track it. So that time what happens? I mean, implement that thing into the catch block. So here we can handle drag and drop ActiveMQ related connector. So we can insert the data into the whatever getting exception, right? That exception you have to store into the active queuing mechanism. So if they want to track it actually. So this is also nothing but flow we can implement. So whatever they want after getting exception, so we can implement like that. Okay, so similarly, let's see, I will pass some database wrong credentials. Let's see how will work with that. I'm just giving a wrong username. I just, so just test the connection. Anyway, we're getting wrong. Let's try to connect. Save it. Okay, I'm trying to apply once again. Debug gas, mule application. Yes. Okay, so deployed successfully. So let's try to connect from the disk to host. Okay, here it will get failed, right? So let's see. Okay, now so getting red. Let's see what type of exception it was giving. On the debug mode, here exception thrown. So see this, it was clearly saying java.sql exception. So cannot get connection for the URL. So it was saying clearly URL also. Access got denied for user, whatever you are passing that user gen. So it's unable to connect to your local host. Okay, so we have to capture this exception actually, either from this stack trace or else from here. You have to copy this exception. You have to implement accordingly your specific cache block where it should come. So it should come first cache block, right? Let's see here, it will come to the first cache block. Like this we can able to check in debug mode actually clearly where it will go the cursor. So then here what I'm writing here in the payload, I'm trying to display that error message again. So exception dot caused by SQL exception, I just hard code it. Exception dot cause message, I'm trying to display that one. So that way we have to get it. Okay, now see this. SQL exception, internal connection exception, whatever the URL you are passing the URL and then access denied, whole things it was showing. Or else if you want to give custom message to the user boss, whatever you enter database credentials get wrong. So that error message, custom error message we can type here in the payload. In the payload we can type here, we can show to the user whatever you want. Okay. So do you have any questions now? So how to catch the, how to get the exception name, then how to keep it in a catch block. Similarly, whatever the exception you are getting, same thing happened actually. Same thing we have to do. Suppose now tomorrow one more exception getting, right? Apart from the number format exception and then database exception. So any other exception will get it, right? So what we need to do? So we have to drag and drop one more catch flag. In the catch flag, we have to write the condition like this: exception not caused by some other exception. So that exception you have to take from the debugger or else print stack trace from the console. We have to keep it like this. We have to open this enable notification. We have to choose the two things, log exception. So next one is, so that will come to the, whenever we get that particular exception, that will come to the that particular catch block. So whatever you implemented that catch block flow, that will execute. That's it. So clear. So do you have any questions? We'll discuss.
No, Venkat.
Both of you. Okay, so now we can handle, right? Let's see one more we kept it, right? Null pointer exception. So when we'll get null pointer exception, let's see. Yeah, tell me, you asked something.
Yes. Suppose in my flow, if I possible the ways is any exception should occur. But
Sorry.
that time I need to put
So,
like in my flow,
huh.
there is a possibility of any false will occur,
Yeah.
any exception.
Okay.
That time I need to put any catches.
Obviously,
Okay.
if you want to avoid,
So
if you want to avoid some similar kind of exception, we can keep it OR condition here. Suppose yesterday we discussed about timeout exception, concurrent timeout exception, the type of similar kind of exception for same issue, right? Right. So that time you can keep it OR condition here. This is a condition checking, right? Exception dot. We can keep it OR condition. Whatever that two things will come, right? We can keep it here OR condition. If there is a similar, then we can add one more condition here. Exception dot caused by SQL exception or else any other thing. Right, like that you can add it multiple. So whatever things, whatever that condition satisfied, right? Any condition, it's R, right? It's not under. So any condition satisfied, it will jump to that particular cache block. If it is a similar, if it is a unique, then we don't I mean we don't have a choice. We have to keep it 10 cache blocks. So generally what happened here, this is our custom exception strategy, right? After raml finish, so raml will give proper some of the exception strategies automatically it will handle actually, like 400 plus 401 402 403, like 500 501 502 503, like the basic exception handling, right? 400 plus means it's a client side mistake, right? 500 means 500 exception means 500 status code means it's a server side. So like that, some of the exceptions your API get done. So there is a concept called raml. We'll see that one also. So raml will take care of all these exceptions. Apart from that, in your flow, anything goes wrong. So this is our custom exception strategy actually. So some of the exceptions will take care by that what we call API key. Suppose you are getting some exception, you didn't handle it. So then where it will go? So by default, whatever that similar kind of exception, right? So some super class. Suppose yesterday we saw that I was trying to say in the try block we are getting 10 exceptions, whatever you are saying, but you didn't handle one of the exception, then where it will go? So wherever the superclass is there, right? Similar type of condition, superclass is there. So then it will go there. It will accordingly it will execute. If you're not handling, it will go to the superclass exception strategy. Like you handle java.lang.exception strategy somewhere else. So, but you didn't handle that some other exception you are getting, you didn't handle it. But you handle java.lang.exception strategy somewhere else, java.lang.exception. So that will go to the superclass actually because that exception is available in under lang package. So yes, according from for your question, answer is if it is a unique related thing, you have to handle. If you not handle somewhere else, if you handle lang dot exception, it will go there and it will execute it. Okay.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Is there any error code for that?
Yeah, sure. We have to keep it actually, but in this case, yeah, I will show you some error codes also. It should display here. But in this case, I'm not hitting any target system, right? If you get error code, we have to keep it. If not get it, what we'll do? We have to property. When property is there, we have to drag the property. We have to keep it the property here. Okay, in the property, you can keep it that status code actually. So
Okay. Is there any categorization of this exception code combination?
exception code or
Bad
status
request.
code. Yeah, that's what actually.
Bad
Whatever.
request.
Yeah, understood. Bad request and all, your API kit will take care. So in this case, we didn't include that API kit. So the bad request and all. Bad request means it's nothing but a 400, right? That 400 will take care already. Will taken care by your API kit. I will show you that one anyway. So sure. 1 second, I will show you. The bad request and all, the basic exception, right? The basic exceptions and all will take care by your API kit. If you want to handle it, then you can handle it actually. So when you get bad request, suppose user want to send some JSON format as a input, right? So, but he is sending some improper JSON format. Think like that. Improper JSON format you are getting. So that time what happened? The parsing exception will get it, right? It's unable to parse it. So based on that input JSON, right? You are getting a payload as an input, but he is not sending proper JSON format. That time it's nothing but a bad request, right? So it will go to the 400 wherever you handle that 400, right? Bad request. So it will go there and it will execute accordingly. It will give to the meaningful message to the user. Plus you are getting bad request because of we are unable to the parse the data whatever you are sending. So that type of message will get it.
And one more thing,
Yeah,
in the
tell me.
workflow,
Hmm.
now there is two exceptions, right? Database related or that is unable to submit.
Yes.
But we see in response only one, right? Either it is or
Hmm. So how will get to? So it's got failure it's here itself now. So it will go forward. Where you handle that expression that is in next level, right? We can't get
that.
two things at a time. We can't get it right.
Okay, okay. Then I got. Is there any categorization exceptions? Are we
Yes, there now.
like
So hmm. Categorizes means like
uh,
400, 500, 200 like that, right?
not like that?
Hmm.
Any remote calls, like a binding calls, system calls, like any categorization based on suppose if I want to connect to other systems, if I want to connect to databases, if I want to connect to queues,
Hmm.
like any binding calls. Suppose if I want to invoke some other say external system with our service,
Hmm.
that time any binding calls, remote calls, like runtime calls. Is there any categorization in this kind of calls or no?
Here policies means I'm not getting actually policies means So generally what happen if you are trying to connect target system, so mostly we're getting that 500. So based on that 500 state of 501, 502, 503 might be 500 plus we'll get it. So if the server goes down, right, so that time we'll get 500. So based on the 500 we'll capture that information. So then we go to the user actually.
Okay, but the only thing is, suppose if I want to invoke the target system,
Mm.
uh, we are getting different users, right? Like, is there any categorization? Suppose if I want to connect to a database, like that is in a remote connection,
Mm.
is there any categorization like for types of faults? These type of faults is based on mule, right?
Can you give me some example? Actually, if you whatever you are saying that scenario, in that scenario also will get a SQL exception only. Suppose in place of localhost you have to give that remote address. If you are giving any wrong credentials, we'll get obviously SQL exception only. So in this, if you pass anything, either password if you get wrong and then username if you get wrong. So if you pass anything, we'll get that only. So what was that SQL exception only?
Okay.
So try to explore more that what is the policy, then what was the scenario, what was the example, just give me, I will try to explain.
Like in Java, we have a different types of exception. They categorized as a
Give me example, what type of categorization?
suppose
Uh,
like they are providing the visual, right?
okay,
So now I want to invoke that visual.
yes,
The time it's showing error, like is the visual reading error.
yes,
Suppose if I want to invoke the other service,
mm,
then it's an remote fault. Suppose
yes,
if I want to connect to the database, the time
mm,
the data source is down,
mm.
that time we are getting a binary fault. Some standard faults is there, system faults. Like, is there any categorization like this in on mute?
Mm, whatever you are saying that scenario, will get visitor is invalid. If you get any wrong in the visitor or else visitor location is wrong, the time visitor is invalid, that type of error message will get it. So that type of policies I didn't see any policies actually. So whatever the exception you have to catch, you have to handle it. That's it. That is, there is no segregation, remote exceptions or else a local exception like that. It's not there. If you are unable to connect to the visitor, then it was clearly saying what was the exception. That exception you have to handle it.
Okay. Is there all the faults are recoverable faults or non-recoverable faults? We need to go
Yeah,
through
it's a
that.
recoverable, right? It's if you suppose here, if you give proper value, it
My
won't get.
question is,
Yeah.
my question is, it's automatically recoverable. Suppose some cases, suppose your
Oh.
DB is down, we
Uh-huh.
can give retry mechanism. It will automatically sometimes
Yeah, here
server
also there.
server auto.
Here also there.
Okay.
Here also there actually. So yeah,
All
we not all actually, some of them. Whatever you are saying that scenario, target system is down, so we can try multiple times. We can keep it some condition 5 times. I have to trigger, so we can keep it 5 times. Then first time it will try to connect it. It got failed. So second time it will try. Third time, fourth time, fifth time. Then fifth time also still that is down. Then it will come back to the exception or else any chance it will connect, then it will give the data. It will connect and it will give the data.
okay.
That retrying mechanism here also there.
Okay.
Okay, so anything else?
No.
That is about exception strategy. So other thing is I told about yesterday mapping exception strategy, right? Just this I am trying to push it outside. Okay, so it is not under flow. I just push it outside. Then I will try to explain that mapping exception strategies. Just keep it a global exception strategy. That global exception strategy will keep all these things. Okay, so I kept a global exception strategy outside. So then here, so there is a mapping exception strategy I was saying yesterday, right? So we have to drag and drop the mapping exception strategy here under our error handling. Expand this, drag and drop it, mapping exception strategy. In the mapping exception strategy, you have to reference exception strategy. How to keep reference exception strategy. So next we have to show that global exception strategy. So now this what happened. So I mean, if it is multiple, you are handling more exceptions. So then your flow should not look good, right? While saying that time. So that's why we have to keep it reference exception strategy. In the reference exception strategy, so whatever the your exception strategy XML, right? We have to give it XML or else it is nothing but other flow, right? I just show that I'm just referring to other flow, then it will go here, it will execute it. So whenever exception happen, first it will come here. So based on that, this is nothing but other flow, right? It will jump here, wherever the cache block is satisfied, it will execute, accordingly it will display. So this is the one way. Generally people what people will do, they will create one more XML file, because whole application they will handle into a single XML file. All the exceptions related things, they will keep it to the XML file. That is a recommended way. So we have to keep it one more XML configuration file. We have to handle all the exceptions that particular XML itself. So then how we'll refer it using this reference exception strategy here, we'll refer to the that XML file. So that way you have to do it. So is it clear? I will show you how it will jump. What was the cost? So if you already deployed, right, already session is running, means your server is running on the ports 6666, we'll get this error. So we need to change it, or else we have to stop this existing server, have to deploy it again, or else if you want to continue, so then you have to change that port number apart from the 6666. If you keep it anything else, so then able to deploy it. Okay, successfully deployed. to hit once again. See where it will come. So okay, click next. See the exception, then so he was talking about exception, that status code, right? So here generally it will display the status code, but here we're not connecting any target system, right? So that time it won't display that error code. Okay, sorry, status code. So that time we have to drag and drop the property file. So in the property you can set what type of status code you want to give. Generally authentication failure, right? We'll give 401 for this. 401 or 404 will give, maybe based on your client authentication codes. Actually they will share the authentication code, which authentication code, I mean which status code we have to give based on the failure, right? So like that we have to set hard coded, because we are not getting that, right? So that's why we have to drag and drop the set property, we have to hard code it. So that's the thing. So see this, now what happened, it will come to the reference exception strategy. From the reference exception strategy it will jump to the global exception strategy. In the global exception strategy, wherever the catch block is satisfied, that catch block will execute. Okay, so that's the thing. So similar way, whatever the exception happened, same way actually we have to catch that exception, means copy that exception, we have to keep it into the caused by in the expression we have to paste it. Accordingly it will execute. If you want to do some manipulation on that error message, we have to keep it, or else whatever you are getting, if you want to insert into the queuing mechanism, that you have to extend the flow. So whatever you want to display dynamic message, you have to display that exception.cause.message. It's a mule expression language. Using that we can display it actually. So this is nothing but a object, right? Exception is an object, exception.cause.message, simply like that. Coming to that API get related, right? I will show you an example how that will handle some basic exception handling that will handle by your API kit. So this is a API kit actually. We'll discuss soon that API kit was what it will do and all. So if you see here, so some of the basic exception strategies it will handle. Apart from that, other things, see here, so there is exception strategy called status code 401, 404 it was handling, 405, 415, 406, 400. This is a bad request actually. 400, then 400 with other case, 401, 500. These are all by default it will handle, but it doesn't handle timeout exception strategy. I took a global exception strategy, the timeout exception strategy, runtime exception strategy. It won't give by default. We have to customize it actually. Whenever you get runtime exception strategy, means timeout exception, like I have shared that timeout exception strategy. Accordingly, I was giving to the user, boss, you are getting a timeout exception. Then I set the property. So see this, I set the 400 code, 400 status code as a property. Then I'm displaying to the user, so error code, connection timeout, what message you are getting, all these things we are giving a JSON format, because client was expecting JSON format. We have to give back to the JSON format. Then he will convert into the proper thing. Then he will what we call, he will convert it to the GUI required, right? GUI, how GUI required, he will convert it, he will display on the GUI. Then based on that, whoever using that portal, he can able to understand, then he can able to change it if from side if he did any mistake. Is it clear, guys? Hello?
Just like that.
Yeah, do we have any questions, both of you?
No.
Okay, so we'll see tomorrow that what we call Salesforce related thing we'll see. Then we'll see if possible any other topic we'll see. Okay, na? So this exception strategy is concept is for all, whatever, I mean tomorrow onwards, whatever the concept you are going to implement, try to apply this exception strategy. Okay, na? So then we'll get to know how we'll apply it, how we'll take that exception name, then where it will keep it, then how it will jump to the exception strategy. We'll get to know. Okay. ठीक है. Thanks guys. Bye.